Welcome to today's critique of The Heiress of the Harvest, a campus drama exploring unearned legacy versus cultivated integrity. Let's just dive right into the feedback. Flawless character execution currently undermines the central theme of hard-won growth?
Yeah, exactly. The weakness here is that Annalise and Chrysian really lack internal friction. I mean, they execute their deep roots and, strategic patience with such robotic perfection that the emotional stakes of their journey just kind of vanish.
But wait, isn't Annalise supposed to be this hyper-competent mastermind? Like, if we have her making clumsy mistakes, doesn't that break?
Break her core character premise? Well, no, it's not about making her incompetent. It's about making her strategy cost her something emotionally. The suggestion here is to introduce moments where their strict commitment to patience actively hurts them in the short term.
Oh, right. So we force a choice between sticking to the plan and reacting to pain. Do you have a concrete example of how that looks on the page?
Absolutely. So during the capstone presentation, instead of Annalise instantly and coolly delivering her counterstrike, let her freeze, just for a second. Let her feel genuine vulnerability and, well, panic.
Oh, I like that. Or, looking at Chrysian, he could face some severe, realistic campus backlash for dating her.
Exactly. Something that temporarily strains their relationship before they pull off their final triumph. These are just a few ways to show that holding their ground actually takes a toll.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And this lack of protagonist struggle actually creates a domino effect on the rest of the plot. A compelling trap requires the prey to actually put up a fight before the cage closes.
Right, yeah. The structural weakness is that antagonists like Vanessa and Julian fall into Annalise's traps entirely too seamlessly, which renders the corporate and academic warfare just completely one-sided and predictable.
Yeah, if the reader sees Julian falling for every trick, they stop fearing him. Tension gone.
Exactly. So to strengthen this narrative, allow the antagonists a temporary but highly disruptive victory, something that forces the protagonists to pivot and genuinely struggle.
Okay, so how do we do that? Like, what if Julian's 1998 deed maneuver actually holds up in local court temporarily?
Yes, that is a perfect concrete example. Because if Julian wins that round, Annalise is backed into a corner. She'd have to publicly leverage her billionaire status just to stall the bulldozers.
Oh, wow, which is brilliant because it actively tests her core belief in wielding invisible power. She has to break her own rules just to survive.
Right. And then, when she finally unearths and deploys that 1865 historical clause, the victory isn't just a given. It's something she had to sweat and bleed for. The reader feels the relief because they actually felt the threat.
That makes the payoff so much richer. Well, to wrap up this critique, the core narrative here is exceptionally strong, but it can absolutely be elevated by addressing these two areas.
Yeah. First, introduce internal friction for the protagonists so their patience costs them something, like adding moments of vulnerability for Annalise during the capstone.
Right, and second, allow the antagonist a temporary upper hand, specifically by letting Julian's legal trap partially succeed.
Right. Implementing these actionable suggestions will ensure the story's themes of patience and integrity feel genuinely earned by the final page.
Absolutely. We invite you to implement these changes and submit your work back in for another critique.